Welcome back to Conversation Piece, the show that used to be weekly in studio and might be back again. Maybe? We'll see. I don't know. We're figuring it out right now. My name is Patrick Armstrong. I am your host, and I am super excited about this wonderful, wonderful show that we have for you today. My guest today is a writer, rapper, star of his own documentary, and all-around really cool dude. He's got a new project coming out this month called Keep the Car Running, a sonic and cinematic experience that builds a world that you can lose yourself in. I'm really excited to chop it up with him and kind of welcome him back to the show, if I'm being honest. So I'll tarry no further and welcome Grayson Pitts, a.k.a. Robin Raps, to the show.
Thank you, bro. No, it's good to be here.
100%.
Yeah.
You are currently back from California on a little bit of a short stay.
Yeah.
How's it been? How you feel being back in the city?
It's great, dude. It's funny. The smell is like the first thing. Dude, I like got off of the plane and because I haven't ever lived like for a prolonged period in California before, so I'm not really used to the climate. So like getting back, I left in spring and then I came back like at the end of May and like walked out of the doors at the airport and I was like, the air is just thicker and it's, you know what I mean? And it's more humid
Yeah.
and like the smell is different and the like flora is different. And I was just like, it's like written on you if you've lived here long enough. So I was like, oh, okay, that like, it all makes sense. I feel good.
Totally.
You know? So I don't know. It's been nice. And it's just good to see friends and family, obviously. So
100%.
No, it's
Does being hit by like that sensory blast bring back like memories or anything? Were there things that you thought about like once you got off the plane and you had that smell?
I think I was just like, oh, it's summer in Indiana. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because it was like, because it was spring when I left. I came back and I was like, okay, yeah, it's like, I know this. This is like,
Yeah.
uh,
Familiar territory.
familiarity, yeah. And
For
just
sure.
like home, dude. I mean,
Mm,
I've been here for most of my life. So I was just like, I feel very at ease. This is great.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this project that you're releasing this month, because it is August, is very much a kind of like a summertime project. It's got a summertime feel, an Indianapolis summer feel,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
And I want to get into that, but I want to chop it up about a few things first.
For sure. Yeah.
And the first thing that we're going to talk about is a new segment that I started on a different show that I've incorporated into this show called The Dream Machine. First question while we're in the Dream Machine is, are you a dreamless sleeper or a sleepless dreamer?
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm definitely not a dreamless sleeper.
Okay.
I dream heavy.
Okay.
I'll be waking up and like telling my girlfriend about it, and she's like, "You just have the weirdest stuff going on in there," and I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, I dream a lot. What was this? A
Or a
sleepless
sleepless
dreamer?
dreamer. Yeah.
I'm interested to know, is there like a follow-up? Am I supposed to just intuit like what I think of what that means?
Sure.
Or,
So I mean, so being a heavy dreamer to me doesn't necessarily. So for me, for example, I've always felt like, and this is definitely heavily influenced by pop culture and comic books specifically, but like when I have dreamt, I feel like I wake up a little bit like tired because it feels like I've experienced and been like awake during said dream.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel the same way. And also I feel like in that same vein, like when I wake up after dreaming heavily, I will just be, it takes me longer to like get back into who I am and like reality, you know what I mean? Because you've kind of been like living in an alternate reality in your dream or whatever. It's like and then you come back and you're like, okay, I have to like pull myself apart from that and like step back into this. Yeah, dude, dream. I love dreams. There's actually, this is so funny. There's a time where I was like experimenting with dreams.
Okay.
And like what you're supposed to do at least from what I learned, is like write down as much as you can remember from the dream, like as
I
soon
was
as
gonna
you wake
ask
up.
you if you like jotted stuff down or
Yeah.
if you just shared with your girlfriend like after you've had the dream.
Yeah. No, it's like I think writing it and as soon as you can is like how you remember the most or whatever, and you start like building that muscle.
Totally.
And then like after I just did that every day for like 2 or 3 months, and like by the end I could write like 2 or 3 pages full of like completely detailed
Damn.
dreams or whatever. And it's just like it's just weird because when you go to sleep at night, you're like getting excited because you're like, I'm gonna basically go there or
Yeah.
whatever and like be in the dream like very fully and like lucidly, and then step back out of it in the morning and like remember it all.
That's
Because
crazy.
dude, it was like I was like, this is the weirdest thing ever. But it's like I like Carl Jung. Like I read
Okay.
some Carl
Yep.
Jung, and like in one of his books he talks about dreams a lot being like you're taking a look at your subconscious mind, but
Mm.
it's everything is like a metaphor because it's a dream. Like that's why people say it doesn't make sense, because it's like
Sure.
it's all weird, and but it's like symbolic, so you have to like try to figure out what it means
Yeah.
symbolically. I don't know. It's fun
Well,
to play with though.
I think a lot of people, myself included, kind of wake up and have never done the practice of like recall or anything like that with the dream, especially the writing it down.
Yeah.
I have a few notes in my notes app that of dreams that I've tried to like grab as much as possible, but
Yeah.
I think like I love that you just like took some time to practice that and like
Yeah.
you go from writing maybe a few sentences to a few pages. Like
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it was just a fun experiment for a while, and it definitely yielded like really interesting results.
For
So
sure.
yeah, it's cool.
Any recent dreams that you may have had that have been like rattling around in your brain or that you've been thinking about?
Gosh, I've definitely had some. I don't remember like really specific ones, but like I've had a recurring like thing for like my whole adult life, low
Okay.
key. And it's always just like big houses, and not like luxurious houses necessarily,
Sure.
but like I've lived in old Victorian houses in Indy, like in Woodruff Place or like the Old North Side.
Yep.
So it could be like run down, but just like vast, lots of rooms. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, since we're talking about this, I had one last night that
Okay.
I didn't think about it because you just made me recall it, but which is crazy. But and so uh I don't know what it is exactly, but I have a suspicion that it has to do with like how I perceive my potential. Like
Mm.
because the house is supposed to represent like the dreamer from
Okay.
my research or whatever.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, if the house is big and like I'm moving through it and it's just like vast and lots of like doorways and rooms and like it seems to go on forever. I think I've always had an internal sense of like I feel like I can do a lot. Like there's a lot that I'm capable of doing. So
Totally.
um it's just like figuring out how to actually navigate that and like turn it into something real.
Totally.
So I don't know if that's on point or not, but that's like my best thesis
Well, I think
right
it
now.
makes a lot of sense, to be honest, because, and we're going to talk about not only Keep the Car Running, but your album that you released before you left, Fleshed Out.
Yeah.
And I think that thinking about that specific project being like this kind of inflection point of like growth and like I've
Yeah.
done a lot here and now I'm going to do even more to see what I can do. Like your
Yeah.
potential,
Yeah,
explore
yeah.
your potential.
For
I
sure.
think that lines up. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And that you've been thinking about that or dreaming about that, not just recently, but for a minute.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in Cali now,
Yes.
but I would say you're pretty Naptown through and through. I mean, if anybody is familiar with the music, like they would know that.
Yeah. Napa is my city, bro.
100%.
Yeah.
With that in mind, what are your dreams for the city and for the people of Indianapolis? Like, what do you hope for the city?
Gosh, well, I guess I've always found that like the thing that I love the most about Indianapolis is the people. I just love Hoosiers, dude. Like
Yeah.
good community focused people. Like I've lived here since I was 4, and like over my time here, like when I had my first show here, dude, like there were people from like grade school that came to the show. I was like, what are you doing here? Like, that's awesome, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
And then, like, people from so many different, like, chapters of my life. And I think, that's the thing that I love the most about indie is, the community and, network that, like, has come to me, honestly, over my time. And so, I guess that doesn't answer the question of what I want for the city, but I think, um, just continued growth
Yeah.
and like the dialing in of things that need help. Like one of the things recently, this is like a social thing, I guess, but like my girlfriend worked at the Hi-Fi for the past couple
Okay.
years, and they're doing construction on the main part of Fountain Square, and
Oh
all those
yeah.
businesses are
Oh
dying.
yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, I never really have anything to say in terms of like legislation, just
Sure.
because I'm not informed enough to even have an opinion, I don't think. But with that, I'm like, there needs to be some sort of stipend for those businesses because like they're just going under, and they've been there forever. They've been staples of Indianapolis for a long time,
Yep.
and you know, you can't just throw a year's worth of construction in front of them
Right.
without supplementing them somehow.
Brother, you're speaking my language.
I'm
I
sure,
literally
yeah,
just had an almost exact conversation with somebody. I was
yeah,
just like, "Are we able to provide these businesses with like some sort of like upfront relief, knowing
100%,
that your foot traffic specifically is going to be impacted to like a severe degree?"
yeah.
And unfortunately, I
It
don't have
seems like
anything. I don't
no,
have any great answers for anybody.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I think, yeah, I love that because like I don't love that, but I love that people are thinking about
for
like
sure.
how can we support these businesses a little bit more when we are doing kind of necessary infrastructure change, but like at what cost?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And dude, it
Um,
seems like they have a budget that they have a timestamp on or something like that, and that's why
sure,
they're doing so much construction all at once.
sure,
And it's like that being the case, why don't you like instead of doing 4 construction projects in different areas, why don't you do 3 and use the budget from the 4th one to supplement the businesses around
mm,
that and just bake it into the cost. That way like everybody wins. It just takes slightly longer to get all of the projects done. I don't know how those things work, but it feels like that could
I mean, we got
I don't know.
time, so
I
I
don't
think
know.
that
I'm like, hey,
that makes sense. We need
yeah,
if we need the money,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit of a legislator answer, I think. That's a
Maybe
like
I'm just like,
legislator
hey,
solution.
yeah, right.
I
I'm
like it.
like that could maybe help. I don't know.
Okay, so you mentioned like been in Indy most of your life.
Mm-hmm.
I know you were born in Chicago and
Yes.
then moved here as a kid. I was
Yeah.
wondering if you had like a first memory of being here in Naptown.
Kinda, yeah. I grew up on 73rd and Hoover in Washington Township, like
Okay.
right
Yep.
across from the JCC,
Yep.
if you're
Yep.
familiar. So I lived there all the way through the end of high school. Um, Gosh, first memories were probably like the year after we moved in. A new family moved in next door to us. It was a single dad and 3 kids, and they were all like close to my age.
Okay.
And just having them like none of us are blood related, obviously, but like at their house on Christmas every single year.
Okay.
Like at night, we have a party there with them and this other family that we all grew up together. Um, and I think meeting them, it's just funny because like I'm just a kid, I don't know hardly anything, but like you can't see ahead that like 25 plus years into the future, we're still gonna be together.
Totally.
And it was really cool to have like my first friends in Indianapolis, and like basically cousins
Yeah.
turned out to be cousins.
How old were you
Um,
when you had moved? Like what age?
four, and then they moved in when I was 5, and like
Okay.
they pull the moving truck up, and like there's like a roll of duct tape, and we're like rolling the duct tape down the ramp of the moving truck, and like we all think it's really cool for some reason, and it's like that's like the initial memory. I was like,
Yeah.
you guys are pretty cool. This is cool what we're doing here with the duct tape. I think
Totally.
this will be good.
Like you said, as a kid, you're not seeing down the road. You're
No, yeah,
seeing the road right in front of you,
yeah, right then.
or the ramp that the tape
The
was rolling
ramp.
down. For
Yes,
sure.
yes.
I read that you like were always interested or drawn to writing growing up too. Like you like various forms of writing.
Um, I actually was kind of a late bloomer on writing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I liked all different kinds of art for a while. Like,
Sure.
they had like an art program in grade school, and I like did the art program and stuff, but it was just like drawing mostly.
Okay.
And I did a bunch of other stuff. Like I did a lot of photography in high school. I was like the
Oh,
photo
okay.
editor of the newspaper. And then I got into writing sort of at the end of high school, and then I
Okay.
loved it so much that I like studied it all through college and sort of perused like a ton of different forms of writing through my time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still like drawing and creating art in
Yeah.
like a hand
Yeah.
format way?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't do it as much as I used to, but when I can, it's actually a really nice break from writing
Sure.
because it'll like flex a different muscle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Was that something that you like your family did, like your parents or anything? Like were
Um
they like visual creators in that way?
yeah, my dad is a landscape architect, so
Okay,
like he's
definitely.
blueprinting constantly.
Yep.
My mom is a dental hygienist, so doesn't really
Okay.
translate, but like
Hey,
my
teeth are an art form, I think.
hey, that's
I got to
fair.
take my kid to the dentist tomorrow, so
100%. That is true, dude. It's true. Yeah.
for sure.
So maybe I get it from my dad. I don't know. Him and me are like incredibly similar. We're like the
Okay.
same person but 30 years apart. So it's
Sure.
like it's pretty cool actually. But
So is he spitting?
what's that?
Is he spitting?
Man, I wish, dude. I wish. It would be fun. He does. He's very funny. So he'll rattle off some funny like one-liners or just like, stupid jokes.
Sure.
And he does impressions very well of like
Okay.
accents and stuff.
Interesting.
So like me and him have been doing that together for a long time, just making my sister mad and stuff.
Sounds ripe for skits on a
Yes,
project.
exactly. Yeah, dude. I'm like, I'm trying to get into that kind of thing
Sure.
for music. So we'll see.
We're definitely got to talk about it because you've been incorporating it a little bit more, I think, in these
Yeah.
projects.
Yeah.
Okay, but I wanted to touch on like the writing part of it. So misread that you liked writing growing up a lot,
It's all good.
but
Yeah.
once you got to, I guess, college then and really kind of like fell in love with the passion of writing and all the various mediums, that at a certain point, writing music became like you decided this is what I really love to do. I was
Yeah.
wondering what about music and writing music was different than the other things that really made you like want to pursue that.
Yeah. I don't know that I've thought about that actually. I was just like, I am curious about this one more than the others.
Okay.
Because for a while, like, because I did a bunch of different writing in college, like script writing actually was kind of my bag in
Oh,
college,
okay.
like
Cool.
playwriting and screenwriting, um, which might actually be why I like movies so much. But
Hey.
yeah, and then after I graduated, I was like, well, I spent 4 years studying this. Like, I love writing. I want to try to make it into a career. So I did like I had a blog. I did like some freelance journalism in Indiana. I wrote a short memoir that's like 40 pages that I
Okay.
was able to get published, which was cool. Um, but then I realized I was just spreading myself too thin. And I was like, uh, there's, Jordan Peterson is a very divisive figure politically speaking,
Sure.
but like he's also a psychologist, and there's like a psychological like idea that I heard from him once where it's like if you're trying to substantiate a career, you kind of have to like fit yourself through a pinhole. So like for me, I was like, okay, I have blogging, freelance journalism, writing the memoir, making music, and I'm doing all of those, and it's just too broad. So
Sure.
like I have to narrow it down to one, get excellent at one, fit through the pinhole because by substantiating a very solid and like undeniable craft in one. And then once you get through that on the other side, hopefully you have resources and a little bit more like prowess and time to expand out and touch on the other ones again if you want to.
Sure.
So once I learned about that idea, I was like, okay, how does this apply to me? And yeah, I think I was just most curious and having the most fun with music.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is the one that I'm going to choose. Like, I got to make a tough choice. This is the one I'm going to do.
For sure.
Yeah.
When you made that decision, how much were you creating musically at that time?
I was creating pretty frequently. It would probably be a couple hours a day because,
Sure.
like, for my strategy, like, throughout my whole 20s and now, like, getting into my 30s has been, like, work a restaurant job and, like, divide your day into two halves, basically. So
Yep.
it's like,
Yep.
if I can work at night, that means I have the whole day. So, like, I
Mm,
would work on music in the day or whatever writing and then go do that at night. So that's what I was doing. I think just like my daytime block of doing creative work
yeah.
was just divided between different things, or it would be like for a couple months I'm making this memoir or whatever, and
Yeah.
then the next project it'd be like project based. But then I was like, I'm gonna let all the other projects go and just do musical projects.
For sure.
Yeah.
When you made this pivot to being like, I'm only doing musical projects now, like this is where all of my passion and energy is going to be in my pursuits. What was like the first leveling up that you felt or like you incorporated into your skill set as
Yeah.
you started to make that pivot?
Did I think like recording at a um like more professionally
Oh,
was
sure.
like, yeah, because like before me and my buddy were just recording like at his place, and he would just like, it wasn't even like a setup on a desk or anything. He would
Sure.
just like pull the Focusrite
Hey,
out of
bro.
his closet or whatever and just plug it in, and then we
Yep.
just sit on the floor and like do
Yep.
it, you know.
Yep.
So it was very grassroots, but then I was like, okay, the next step obviously is to up like the production level. So my buddy Mitch Brown, Kid Quill,
Okay.
he's from Indiana. He's an artist. He lives in LA. He put me on to this guy. His name's Jacob Goodnight, and he had a studio in like his spare bedroom out in Lawrence.
Nice.
So I would go meet up with him, and he had like a sound booth in the room, like
Okay.
with a
Yep.
door and everything. So that was like the first time where I was like, okay, I'm investing in studio time. I'm
Yeah.
investing in a better mic and setup, and let's just level it up, see how this sounds, and like keep dialing it in as we can from here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What was it like to make that first mixtape, like, and put like a full thing together?
Dude, it was so much fun. Like, I don't know that I've ever had more I mean, I've had plenty of fun along my, like, time of doing
Yeah.
it, but it's like the first one is like, I don't know, dude, it's just like rapping is such a fun medium because you're like, I am dope. And like I have to
Totally.
like you have to say some dope shit and like talk strong and like kind of throw your weight around, and that's one of the fun things about it is just like coming into yourself, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And like standing up straight and being like, okay, what do I have
Mm.
to say? What's going on here? Like, what's my story? And
Yeah.
so that was really fun. And like even that very first project, like has sound bites and shit on it. Like the very first
Okay.
track of
Yeah.
it has like sound bites from a movie and then like beat switches, and like I was like, it's just fun to start like getting your hands dirty, and like you're like, okay, if I made my own, I have all this music that I love. If I made my own, how would I try to do it better? It's probably
Mm.
not going to be better yet because I'm
Sure.
just starting, but like the one thing at the beginning that was like dialed in for me was my writing because I'd already done it for like 6 years.
Sure.
So I was like listening back to it, and I'm like, I mean, hell, like the writing is great. My
Yeah.
voice
Like I'm
sounds
pretty.
horrible.
I'm
I was
snapping
like,
right here
yeah.
though.
I like my voice is ass, and like that's fine. That's just like that's the thing that hasn't been like contoured at all yet.
Sure.
So like, but like the thematics, and like I also studied philosophy a lot in college.
Okay.
So like, yeah, the themes and like the ideas were well written and like well put together.
Yeah.
It was just but yeah, there were other things that still needed to catch up.
Yeah.
And but it was, dude, it was just exciting. So exciting.
100%.
Yeah.
You talked about like my voice wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
How long within from that first project do you feel like it took to like find that?
Dude, it took forever. And like even now there's times where I'm like, I'll record a song and I'm like, okay, it's finally like above like 93 or 94%. And it's like, and I know that there's still even more room beyond that to grow. But
Sure.
it's like, dude, I mean, at first it was like like just to put it at a grade, I was like, this is like a D. Like it's barely good enough. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then
Yes.
like
Yes.
over the years, you keep hearing it, and I'm like, okay, like on this song or like this part of this song, I can tell it's starting to get there. That was like a C plus performance, so that's like a B minus.
Sure.
And then like on this project in particular,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I feel like this is one where it's almost fully an A or like an A minus. So
Okay.
I'm like, it's a, you just like you know if you're filling the gap or not,
Yeah.
um, because like you have good taste.
Sure.
If you make art, you probably have good taste. This is like an Ira Glass quote. He's
Okay.
like, the people that do creative work, like strong creative work, the thing that gets them into the game is their taste, and then they have a really long period of like filling the gap of like making their creative work actually live up to their taste. And it's you do that
Mm.
by doing reps over and over again for years.
Totally.
And so I feel like I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to close that gap, which is
Yeah.
really exciting. But like it sucks to be in it for so long and you're like, I know this is the best that I've done yet, but I know it's not up to my taste. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And it's that you
Big
do that
house.
forever. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
A hundred
Hey,
percent.
that's yeah.
This is kind of a hard pivot,
Let's do it.
in a fun way, but I was wondering, and it might not be these people, but if you were stuck on an elevator with two people, who would you choose?
Oh
Or who would you
gosh.
want it to be?
Like artists or just anyone?
Anybody, just anybody in
Oh
general.
damn.
You're stuck on the elevator.
One of them would have to be like one of the great religious prophets
Okay,
of history. You know, Jesus or Buddha or anyone who has attained such an incredible like proximity to God
sure.
or to the something with a capital S, whatever
Okay,
you want to call it. I don't know. There's no way to argue against that in my mind if you're a spiritually forward kind of person.
sure.
Um, and probably Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you know much about like?
Not a lot, just like a very little bit.
Yeah.
School me.
Yeah, no, he's great. So there's like a Stoic philosophy was one of like the ancient Greek and Roman philosophies that I like got into for a while, and Marcus Aurelius was one of the only Stoic philosophers that held such a high rank
Yeah,
in like public life. He was an emperor, so um, he was like the philosopher king, is what they called him.
yeah,
And it's he has a book called The Meditations, and he didn't even write it as a book. It was just like his stoic practice of like writing down his thoughts and like contouring his discipline at the
yeah.
end of each day, and maybe the beginning too. But it ended up just being his journal that was published into a stoic text that has now
Interesting.
like lasted for thousands of years.
Yeah,
And dude, like it's just banger after banger.
yeah,
It's crazy, bro. Like literally in the margins, because I like to like write
yeah,
in the
yeah,
margins of my books. So like I'm reading it for the first time and I read like the first page and I'm like, I gotta put this down because there's so much
yeah,
like he'll like pack such a profound like idea about how to live into like 3 lines. And you're like, I need to stop for a second so I can just like flesh that out over the
sure.
next couple of days or week, and then I can get on to the next one.
Yeah,
But he's just a guy who's like very human. Like he had like a bunch of kids, maybe like 5 or 6 kids or something, and like most of them died in
yeah.
his lifetime.
Okay.
Which is like so he's like, and he was the emperor at a time when like the empire was expanding, constantly dealing with like insurrection and like trying to expand the borders of this empire and like uh turncoats and like politics and like just like so much crazy stuff to deal with
Yeah,
that most people will never even touch on that kind of level. But then at the same time, he's like, I'm going to try to be the most disciplined and virtuous person that I can be,
yeah,
even given having absolute power. And it's like, he's just such an insane, like, cut
yeah.
of person, you know? So you just don't get an example like that very often, and somebody who takes it that well
For sure.
and writes about it the whole time.
Yeah,
So and like so honestly,
for sure.
because he wasn't writing it for an audience, he was writing it for himself, which makes it that much more impactful.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Love Marcus Aurelius.
Well, and I
He's the
think that
GOAT.
might be the goal of any artist, right? Is
Yes.
to write the thing that you, or create the thing you really want to create, hope that
Yeah.
it stands the test of time, and that somebody 1,000 years from now will look at it and go, banger, banger, banger.
Dude, 100%. Yeah. I'm like, I don't expect my shit to last that long, but if it does, I'll be like, cool. I mean, even if like after I die, someone is still listening to my shit and they're like, that's a banger, I'll be like,
Yeah.
let's go. You
Well,
know?
I think that's the cool thing about, like, one of the silver linings of, like, the internet age and the age of social
Yes.
media is
Things
that
last.
things, yeah, they are there now,
Yeah.
and for better or worse, like, will be there forever unless somehow technology gets erased and we go back, to the Stone Age, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure.
What's something about, like, philosophy that you love that you think people might misunderstand?
That it's just stupidly applicable to everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, all right, because I know it's not everybody's like nature, I guess, to be like, I'm interested in philosophy. Like when you're in school or whatever, and like I like philosophy classes or something, and some people are like, I just don't. This isn't really my thing. Like
Sure.
I don't like it, and I'm like, I get that, but like, um, I think everybody is really a philosopher, just not in like as much of an academic sense.
Sure.
Because everyone is living, and philosophy is just like the study of living and how to do it the best. So it's like everyone's a philosopher in that they are all living and experiencing and making choices. And so you're doing the thing.
Yeah.
You might just not be thinking about it, uh, critically.
Yeah.
So, but you're always doing it. You're always living. So like you can step into that philosophy and be critical about your life whenever you want to.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is there, like, a philosophical teaching that you like to employ or, like, have perspective on in your own life that you would share with other people?
I guess the one that has been coming up in recent days because it applies to music and like the pursuit of music so much is that I think that each person has a design, and
Mm,
there's like there's whole philosophies that like are against that idea.
okay.
And like that's fine. I would love to discuss and like
Yeah.
dive deeper to see if I'm on the right track or if there's like arguments against it that are valid. But I feel that people have a design, and that it's your duty to uh, be curious about that and flesh
Mm,
it out, basically. And like that's why I pursue music, and that's why like I studied writing and philosophy in college. Like because when I got to college, I was like, I think I need to just take classes in what I'm most interested in,
okay.
because
Sure.
it's natural, like it's my nature. And that goes back to the design thing, is like if you have a nature, something that comes to you naturally that you're good at, or that just feels innate to you, like that's your talent, that's your thing, then like that's your fucking thing. Go do it, do
Yeah.
that. So and I know, and the one thing that makes that difficult is like it might come at the expense of security. For
Mm,
example, like I don't have nearly as much security as some people do,
sure.
but they might not be doing that duty to their design.
Sure. When
Um,
you talk about security, you mean, like, material
Basically, yeah,
security? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But
um,
internally, very secure, it seems
yes,
like. Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Okay.
like, my thought is like, it, this being my design, then this must be my purpose, and
Mm,
like whether it leads to the type of security that I would hope to have or not is not really up for me to decide. All I
yeah.
can do is like follow this nature of mine and do it to the best of my ability. And like I'm confident in my toolbox and like how it grows over time. So I have confidence that I will reach a point where I can do it professionally and in a way where like I'm comfortable. But if not, there's parts of that are outside of my control,
Yeah.
and that it just is what it is. It's not for me to try to control things I can't. So
I feel like that's been the thing that I've been on a lot in the
yeah,
last 6 years, but definitely
yeah,
recently, is just like the understanding there's a lot that I don't have control over.
bro, it's
And
so
if I
tough.
can just focus on the few things that are within my grasp that I can steer the wheel a little bit, I think that'll make me feel a little bit more at peace
100%.
inside
Yeah, totally.
with the chaoticness of the world that I find myself in. So.
Dude, that's a huge like maxim of Stoic philosophy.
Okay.
It's like only focus on what you can control and everything that you can't. Like, don't get emotionally struck by those things because there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I think that's like the push and pull that we find ourselves in as a society right now, because I think the systems that we're a part of, like, those have been used to exert control over a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But for an individual, like, the people pulling those levers are out of your control. So, like, how do you figure out how to work within your own design to maybe potentially affect the change beyond? Because when you're working within your design, you'll probably naturally find people doing their thing that makes sense to build community with.
Yep.
And then through that kind of coalition, you can maybe go out and change the system, break the system, and make a new one.
Yeah, dude, I think that's I really like that idea specifically because it's like, it's so easy to like look at a problem that's so massive and like try to throw something at it and affect it. And it's like, I just don't think that's the way to go about it. Like, the better way is to like start with you and like your immediate world. And it's like, okay, what's my design? What can I do well for myself? And then what can I do well for like the people that are in my immediate circle every day? And like, if I can build from there, then like I am doing a really good job with this tiny little world. Instead of trying to do a really good job with this massive thing that like I don't nearly have the power to affect as easily. And like, but if you can do it within your circle, then you can help to bring them up. And then maybe they want to do it with their circle, which includes other people, and then it builds out from there. So like starting from the bottom feels like a much better way to affect change.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I think for 30 years I was always focused externally to the detriment of who I was as an individual, and I couldn't really become a good or better community member until I had like started to work on myself.
Yeah.
So
yeah, dude, totally. I 100% agree. Yeah.
we about to get into a whole
About to get into
philosophical
this whole
conversation.
goddamn
I'm here
thing.
for it.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Let's talk about Keep the Car Running. Let's talk about this project.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. Tell me about it. Tell me a little bit more about like the impetus behind it and why now is the time to be putting this out. Like, let us know all the things.
For sure, for sure. So, like I said, I've loved putting film dialogue and stuff for a while.
Yep.
Because it just feels like another kind of sampling. Like, people sample stuff all the time, sampling music, but then if you like throw some film dialogue into it, it can like point the direction of like the theme of the song or like whatever you're trying to say, and it just gives it like a cinematic piece or element.
Yeah.
And so I loved Heat, and I was like, I'm really digging these like 90s era films that are like a little grainy, and they have like really, really nice clean story arcs and like bold characters and great dialogue. And that one just struck me because it's just electric, bro. It's just like, it's such an incredible film. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this. And I've been getting all of my beats from this guy called Stoic Beats.
Okay.
He's a New Yorker.
Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And he's the man. He does a lot of chopped samples, and it's like warbly and like sticky and gritty, and it's just like, it really matched the tone of Heat a little bit. So I was like, I'm gonna throw one of these into a song, and I did that one day, and it just sounded so good and like matched so well that I was like, I might just make a whole project off of this. That's what I did, and it was like the winter time, and I was living with some friends in Woodruff Place, and one of our friends ended up needing to move out to live with his shoddy, so we kind of like broke our lease, and I was like, okay, I now need to think about my next year, which I haven't really done lately.
Sure.
And I was like, I'm gonna either live here for another year, work at the same place for another year, which I had already worked at for like 7.5 years, which is wild. And I've been wanting to leave for a long time.
Sure.
And I'm like, am I going to do the same thing for another year and lock myself into that? And I was like, that just doesn't sound like what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, and I have a good, one of my best friends lives in LA, and
Okay.
he's always been like, come and stay with me for a couple months if you want. Like, you don't have to pay me anything. Just like stay on the couch and see if you like it. Cause there's a lot of people out here doing what you do. And I was like, this is the time. So, I needed to save up some money first. So I just like stayed with my dad. Like
Yep.
I moved out of there. I stayed with my dad. He lived on a farmhouse on the west side. And I was like, okay, I'm going to spend the winter season like being a recluse and just working on craft and crafting this whole project. So dude, it's like, it was super cathartic. I
Yeah.
kind of hate that word, but it's just like, it was such a nice season because
Totally.
I'm like up in this farmhouse room, the snow's coming down outside, and I'm in there and I'm just like cooking
Yeah.
constantly. And I'm like I'm just like rambling a lot, I feel
No,
like. But
not at all.
just to set the scene.
Yeah.
And then so I started making this project and it sort of became over time like a reflection of this pivotal season between like Indianapolis and moving to a new place to try out a new scene and like see if the music infrastructure of LA is bullshit or if it really is worth its salt.
Sure.
And like what it would mean to go and try it. And so yeah, the whole winter I'm just like making this project that's about it's kind of like a farewell letter to Indy and like a love letter to Indy. Like I have loved being here and like and scrapping and having this community and this like place where I have the insulation of my community to build something that at first is not up to snuff at all,
Sure.
but like I have the support enough to be able to keep doing it and build it out to where it is something that's worth something. And then like saying thank you for all of that and like continuing the scrap elsewhere. So, and it's kind of like the guys in the movie are like professional thieves and like heist men. So, and I find that it just mimics like the artist journey because there's no conventional route to like get to a professional level of artistry.
Sure.
You kind of have to like build it as you go and like and scrap and like use your network and you have to like DM people cold and like find venues and you have to like you're constantly like reaching out and trying to like build it and create the strategy as you go.
Yeah.
Which feels like you're a thief out there and you're like trying
Sure.
to you're planning your your score and like how you're going to take it down and how you're going to figure it out and no one has done it before.
Yeah.
This is the first time. So that's kind of like the mirroring of Heat in
Okay.
it. And yeah, it's just awesome, dude. It's like a lot of chop samples, a lot of film dialogue in between that gives it a cinematic sense and helps create the arc of the story. And there's a shit ton of great features on it, like Life
Totally.
of Tom. Life of Tom's a New
Yeah.
Yorker. He's dope. He knows Stoic, and like Stoic's
Okay.
brother is a rapper as well. So it's like I really enjoy it, their community out there. They're
Yeah.
all really good. And then like Pothole Freestyle has just as many nap rappers
Insane.
as I could fit on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to make like a Wu-Tang style nap record.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, there's like we have so many people that are just like just cutters here. Like they're killers. They're
Yeah.
so good at rapping. And I'm like, let's put us all on a track. It'll be a fun, like cheeky track, and we'll just try to outdo each other. And like it just turned out so well, dude.
Bro, that
Yeah.
song I feel like is you're teasing us and there's like
Yeah.
some like 15-minute version where
Bro.
everybody's got like 6 verses.
I would like for that to
Insane.
happen. Yeah.
Thinking about like trying to get all of these people on one track.
Yeah.
What's like how hard is that?
Dude, it's
how difficult is that to make happen?
It can be tough. Especially just like logistically speaking, like trying to make 5 different schedules line up or whatever. That was tough. But I mean like also like if I want to have someone on a song, I want to have the majority of it done. So when I send it to them,
Okay.
I'm like,
sure.
This is the whole sound sans your part. So that they know they have a full idea of it and they can either say, yeah, I fuck with that or no, I don't. Because if it's not like totally done, then they don't have a full idea of like what they're signing on to. So
Sure.
like that was difficult at first because I had to like pitch it with only my verse, or
Yeah.
like I had two little sections, and that was only like 30 seconds of the song.
Yeah.
So that was kind of difficult, but I had to like sell the idea of it and just be like, I want to make a Wu-Tang style song where we just get as many people as we can, no hook. Everybody just spits as hard as they can and like tries to outdo each other. And it's going to be called Pothole Freestyle, which is just like, I love, yeah, I just love,
Yeah.
like it's so grounded in Nap. And so I hit up Flacco first and he was like, dude, he's so like enigmatic. He's crazy. He's like, I like messaged him about it. I was like, "Hey man, like I love your stuff. Like, would you want to hop on this?" And he was like, "Let me take a look at it." And then like the next day, like, and then I checked in like a couple days later, and he just like sent me a full verse done.
That's
And
crazy.
I was like, dude, and it was incredible too. I was like, dude, that's crazy. So and so that was how it like that was really a good way to get it started.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend who knew B Swift, and then I wanted him to do like the intro.
Yep.
Because I thought just to add to like the Nap like pop cultural aspect of it.
The sound is as big as the potholes on the road you
Yeah,
drive on.
yeah, totally. So it is a little bit difficult to put it together, but once we did get it together and we got everyone in the studio, that was the best because we did like the crew ad libs in the back, which like gives it such like a full room feel.
Totally.
And dude, it's actually interesting how much doper you feel about what you've written when you have people in the background that are like saying your words with you and like making it sick. You're like, oh, it's not just me like trying to make everybody understand that this is a dope verse. Like I got all my boys behind me saying the same thing, and like, dude, it makes like an Avengers effect. Like you can be a superhero on your own, but when you got the Avengers there too, like it's just more powerful.
Yeah.
So
we're talking about everybody having their own design, finding people whose designs can mesh well with your design.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's kind of what this project gave me, especially the way that it's just structured. And like one of my biggest takeaways was just the idea of how, like what we've been talking about, how we can in community raise like all levels around us, but it particularly the level that we're bringing to the table ourselves.
Yeah.
What's like your big hope that people walk away with when they tune in?
Striking forth in your thing. Yeah, because it's like, mirroring the guys of Heat, like you have this prize that you're out, like this goal that you're out trying to get to, and you're scrapping the whole way and like having to be cheeky and learn things and like figure out how to get there without any conventional route or somebody like paying you, for lack of a better, you know what I mean? Like to get there, fiscally or otherwise. And so I think the main thing for me is like just prioritizing self-actualization or like self-development in lieu of reward, or like in lieu of security, I guess.
Totally.
Because like Roger specifically is like kind of talking about like the journey of making music, and it's like I've come all this way. I'm definitely like gaining momentum and stride, but like it took a lot of investment and work. And the one thing that I take away from that is like you get scrappy along the way and you get some fat nuts, you know what I mean? Like that's what you do. Like when you are foregoing a return on your investment for that long, but it's yourself that you're investing in, and you keep doing it over and over again, then you just get like, you become cut out of wood at some point. And like you might have some friends over here that have taken the more conventional route the whole way, and like they have a more secure life than you do, but you have a much greater spirit than they do, because you have taken that path and like taken on suffering intentionally to evolve yourself to a high level spiritually.
Totally.
And so that you can take that with you forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have courage, you have you're not afraid to do something scared, and like that kind of self-development is something that you can't buy. So it's like
Facts.
if you do that, you may end up reaping uh material rewards from it, or you may not.
Sure.
But like you have the character that you were after the whole time.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I think it reminds me of a conversation I had recently about the difference between somebody who actually is passionate and cares for the thing that they love and does the thing that they love versus somebody who is just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And maybe like technically they are super proficient, like very good, expert level at what they do.
Yeah.
But there's a difference in, and I think it's probably the authenticity factor when it comes to viewing or experiencing a piece of art that somebody who's just like, oh, I got to check and I just did this because, I'm good at it, versus somebody who's like truly scrapped, truly cares for, truly loves and is passionate about the art of
Yeah.
creating. And it's not just because of the art form, which I think truly, like, the respect for the art truly shows through, not only in this, but in all of your work, but like for themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's like, again, you're making a project ostensibly for the world because it'll live, forever on the internet.
Yeah.
But like the core of that is like, I'm making something for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
With that in mind, who is this project for outside of Grayson Pitts?
Gosh, it's for Naptown residents, that's for sure.
Okay,
Dude,
okay.
there's so many, like, B Swift is on it a couple of times. Ton of Naptown rappers. I don't know how many times the word Naptown is said throughout the record, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I wanted to make like a fun and cinematic sort of gritty record that's like paying homage to such a great city, and then like pointing in the direction of the next one as well. So it's like there's so much of it that I think it would be rich for someone who is from Indianapolis. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just glazing up the city and like what it means to be from here.
Yeah.
And so definitely that. And then also just for anyone who like has that design or like something innate in them that they are curious about and they like gravitate towards without anyone paying them to do it or like
Yeah.
asking them to do it. It's just like, if there's something you're curious about that you want to peruse and it takes a little bit of courage to get there, or if you already took that first step and you're like on your way, like all the artists in town and stuff like that, that you're doing something really important. And and I hope that it's motivating for people who are either on the road less traveled by or they're like at the beginning of the path about to take that first step.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
For Naptown folks, like, it's the perfect driving record for
Right
this
on.
city
Yeah.
because like you
Keep the
can
car
listen to the
running,
whole
baby. It's a
thing,
car record.
and like you can go from the west side to the east side, you can go from the south side to the north side, like,
Yeah.
and you can listen to this whole project, and it's not like, I mean, I love my double LP, like feature length, like, albums and stuff, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's something to a curated experience being a little bit shorter, but no less full of life, of inspiration and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I appreciate, like, you can hop on 465 and get up to where you need to go on Castleton or whatever, and like you're taking the city with you
Yeah.
in that way.
Hell yeah. I love that. That's awesome.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you also, while you're in town, 'cause you're only in town for like a few weeks or something like
Yeah, it's
that,
like
a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
week and a half.
You made time to screen Heat
Hell yeah, dude.
at the Can Cinema.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, another thing that you did at that, I believe, was gave out a free piece of merch to folks.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool because I had a whole section about Fleshed Out that I was going to ask about, and I feel like it was like, we don't have enough time.
That's
but
fine.
like, what the thing that I loved about that album was the release aspect of it, and like how you had a bunch of stuff ready to go,
Yeah.
and the fact that you were only releasing it on vinyl, I
Yeah.
thought was insane.
Yeah,
but
right on, yeah.
insane in like the best way.
Yeah.
I love your approach to like merch because it is less about quantity and more about, I guess, quality, but like the experience of having this, like, you call it analog, I think, piece of something in your hand.
For sure.
Can you talk a little bit just about like putting that experience together as part of an extension of like Keep the Car Running?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for this project in particular, like I've seen a lot of other artists and their rollouts and how they build a whole world around it.
Sure.
And like I think with past projects that I've done, it's been like getting closer to that sort of fuller world building sort of rollout of a project. Because and like with Fleshed Out, one of the fun things was like just doing it on vinyl because that makes it, I think it increases the value of it.
100%.
Because like everything is available all the time to people, which makes the value go down. And it's like, okay, well, especially for someone like me who's like, I don't have a massive audience, but I have a decent one that's kind of localized. And it's like, okay, how can I reward myself and this small community by like making something exclusive to us, and making it something that is limited and raising its value in that way and making it special. So that was kind of the impetus behind doing the vinyl only for that.
Sure.
And then with the heat screening, I tried to, like with this project in general, I wanted to take the world building an extra length. So like we did little teasers for like every song, and each one is like pointing at heat from a different angle.
Sure.
So like I have those. I had the screening and a bunch of other things as the rollout continues. But like I just wanted to like point at the project from a bunch of different angles and kind of build out the world gradually. But so the screening thing was great for that because I'm like, okay, well, so much of this relies on this film.
Sure.
And I'm like, Can is dope. I'm sure I can hit them up and see if they're down for this. And fortunately, they already were screening another Michael Mann film earlier in the month. So they were like, we can add on heat. And what I did was I made like these little keys. It's like a USB in the shape of a key.
Yep.
Yeah, and like what's attached to it is like a motel fob.
Oh,
And
okay,
so
gotcha.
it says like it's supposed to be like an artifact from the album's world. It's like Robin's Motel, and it has like a fake Koreatown, LA address on it.
Gotcha.
And it's like on the back it says like rest easy and hop back in the car. You can almost keep the car running, like the motel slogan or whatever.
Yeah.
So but and then on the key USB is the same full length version of the album with no skips that I sent to you, plus like a letter from me. And I'm just like, it's just a fun and more unique and personal way of promoting something, I think.
Totally.
And like, it's not like I played the album for anybody in the theater.
Sure.
It was just like, you all are here because you love the same thing that I love. And so like that being the case, I'm going to give you this this analog thing that takes a little more intentionality for you to get into if you want to. And it took intentionality from me. So it kind of sets that precedent. And then it's like, since you already have bought into the world of heat, and we both have, we love it, try my thing on for size. You know what I mean? So it was just a fun event to drop into the rollout.
Any like big takeaways from that experience as you move through the rest of the rollout that you're like hanging on to?
Yeah, I think one thing is like there are communities of people that love these niche things out there. Like I have liked heat for a long time, obviously enough to make a whole project with dialogue from it and stuff. And then I had like some friends that I put on to heat, or they already knew about it, but it was just like a movie they liked. It wasn't like something that they were like super stoked on.
Yeah.
And then when I did the screening, most of the people I don't think were there for me. Some of them were for sure, but there was a ton of people that were there because they love heat. And that was cool because I'm walking around the theater and like setting down these little pieces of merch, and people are like, "Oh, what's this?" And I'm like, "Well, like I'm an artist. I'm a Hoosier artist. I just made this record. It uses stuff from Heat all throughout." And they're like, "Bro, I love Heat. Heat's my favorite movie." And they were like, "Thank you for getting Can to put this on because we love this, and like seeing it in the theater is awesome." And I'm like, and dude, throughout the movie, people are like if you've seen it, when like these like awesome one-liners are about to come up,
right?
And you can feel like people kind of like tense up or make little like noises when they know it's gonna come. And then like Al Pacino has some like just stupid one-liners in the movie, and everybody's like laughing or like clapping in the theater. And I'm like, it's so cool to like you put this movie on, and all of these people flock to it from their respective like areas of the city, and they all love the same thing so much that like they're commenting on it throughout the whole thing. And I'm like, it's cool when you like light a torch on something like that and you don't really know who's going to come, but you discover that there's this whole niche, like it's like its own subreddit or whatever, people that just love this thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool that that this exists, and like this thing brought it together here, and now I get to talk with all of you about the same thing that we love, and then obviously segue into what I developed from that, which is this project. So I'm like trying to get more ideas about like, okay, how can I find these other little communities and like light a torch to bring them together so we can all unite.
Totally.
I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah, I love it. As we kind of wrap up here, walk us through like what you've got planned for the rest of the rollout, and what that looks like for people.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do Pothole Freestyle will come out in a couple of weeks, and then 3 weeks after that, I'm gonna drop song number 3 and 4, and then 3 weeks after that will be the final song. So we're kind of like piecemealing it every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna have a show in LA at the end of the rollout, as well as a vinyl drop, bro. The vinyl for this thing is stupid. It's incredible. It's like the fleshed out one was cool.
Yeah.
This one is really it's so
I
cool,
love it.
dude. So we have some, and I have like merch, like shirts and hats and some other good stuff that I'm gonna put out. So like I have music, merch drops, cool like video, cinema style accompaniments to it for a bunch of stuff on social media. And then I'll do a show, and then I'm actually going to come back to Indy at the beginning of next year in January and do like a return show at the Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
That'll be kind of like after the rollout is all done and stuff, but it'll be fun after, we
need one of them shows here.
I know, I'm like, let's go.
We need one here in Nap.
Yeah, so that's kind of the plan for it, but if you're interested, stay tapped in on Instagram basically and Spotify.
I was just gonna ask, like, what's the plugs? Where do we find it? Where do we get it?
Robin Raps on Instagram is where I do pretty much all my social media. I'm not a big TikToker, which is maybe my bane, but I don't know. So and then there's a pre-save of the album on Spotify, so like every time a new one comes out, it'll just go straight to your release radar and shit like that. So that's really useful. And if you got a thing that you love, keep the car running, baby. Don't stop.
Keep the car running, baby. Do not stop.
Don't stop.
Robin Raps, Grayson Pitts. Appreciate you for coming on the show, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah.